Okay. Hopefully everything works. 1 second. Alright. Hi everyone, good evening. It is currently 8:06 p.m. in California. Southern California, if you want me to be specific. Yeah, it's been a week, and I decided I will continue working on doing our Grammar 101 lessons. So basically the idea is that I teach grammar for the stream, and if anyone joins me in call, like for example on Discord or in the chat, feel free to leave comments. I have my tablet here on the side. You might actually see it in the background here, where I'm just checking that in case someone leaves a comment or something. It's just right here for me. I probably will just move my tablet here first. 1 second. Making some room here. If the music is too low or too loud, let me know. So just move it here. Alright, perfect. So I have my setup ready. I hope you guys have had a wonderful week. This week has been this weekend was fun. Except for like the start of this week, I just started feeling really sick. You might hear it in my voice. I found very stuffy. I feel stuffy. There's like something in my nose or in my throat, and yeah, I'm just trying to drink a lot of like emergency drinks. Emergency, if you guys don't know what it is, let me show you what it looks like. This is a emergency vitamin C thing. I don't know if my camera will focus, but yeah, that's it. I've been drinking this. It's basically a vitamin C daily immune support with antioxidants, B vitamins, and electrolytes. I drank that this morning when I wasn't feeling too good. I was also drinking another supplement for my immune system. I don't know if you guys know about elderberries. I think is what it's called. I have it right here. 1 second. I just have everything right here. This other one. Yeah, it's another immunity one. It's called elderberry. Sorry for my light. It's called... I really cannot focus this. It's a bad focus. Immunity elderberry. It's to help my immune system keep up vitamin C, D, and zinc. So I've been drinking these two this whole day, trying to fight through whatever I have. But yeah, I'm kind of sick, unfortunately, and I'm hoping that in the next few days I'll be okay. Also, I see my friend there. Hans is there. Hi, Hans. Good to see you. So I apologize if I sound very stuffy, or I have my moments where I'm just like, I can't talk, because, yeah, unfortunately, I am sick. But yeah, welcome to session 12 for the live stream. I've been thinking about whether I should separate this and just title it, like, grammar lessons and make a new PowerPoint presentation to kind of separate it from live streams. I've been debating about it. I'm not sure yet. Well, I can ask Hans in the chat because he's there, so let me know. You can send me a message on Discord and just let me know if I should separate the design so it's not a live stream per se anymore. It's just like grammar lessons. I don't know. We'll just see. Alright. Alright, for today's stream itinerary, today's greetings, I did a little bit of that. Language acquisition tracker to just go over what we did last week. If you guys don't know what that is. We will do our English for Everyone, or EFE, and it's chapter 3 to, I don't know, however, for up to 60 minutes or so. I'll see if I'll go up to 90 minutes. We'll just play by ear and see how I feel as I'm teaching this. And yeah, from there we can have questions, comments, concerns, or suggestions at the end of the stream, which is what I always do at the end of the lesson. And yeah, other than that, we're gonna go ahead and go straight to greetings. It's been a week. It feels like it's been longer for me. This past weekend, I feel like almost every weekend for me has been very busy. I always have like some sort of event. This past weekend on Friday, I think it started with Friday, I think. Did I do anything Friday? No. Friday, thankfully, was Veterans Day, so it was a national holiday. And I was fortunately allowed to not come to work on that day. So good news was I could get rest for myself. Bad news was I didn't get money from my other job, so it's always a sad part, is just like not having the ability to get extra salary. So that day, I think I surprised myself because on Friday I was feeling kind of, I'm gonna do something productive. But instead, what happened that day was I just felt so tired. It kind of felt like all of a sudden I was starting to feel all of the fatigue that built up from the previous weeks before that. And as you guys know, I am an omnivert. And omniverts are basically, based on the situation, you can adapt to being either an extrovert or an introvert. And it's so funny because the other day, a person thought I was like a textbook extrovert, but I'm like, no, I'm just drained. I didn't get time to recharge. And extroverts typically recharge through social interactions, but for me, it's draining to be in social interactions, even though I look very extroverted and talking to people. But it's really exhausting for me, and I just needed that time for myself. So what I ended up doing was I practically slept the whole day. I just felt so tired. I don't know why, but I just didn't do anything productive that day. I just slept. I kept waking up and going back to sleep, woke up again and fell back asleep. I just stayed in my room that whole day. And I was just thinking to myself, you know what? I'm not going to force myself to do things that I am not comfortable doing. And I'm just going to keep it chill for myself because I know that Saturday and Sunday was going to be really intense for me because it was going to be a 2-day social event and it was going to be wild. So, skipping into Saturday, what I did was I went to Dapper Day for Downtown Disney, and I went there with my dancer friends, and what was happening there was they were having a convention for everything from the 1920s, maybe 1910s, I don't know how early, but it was like early 1900s up to 1960s, I think, or 1970s. No, 1970s was where fashion kind of got wild, so I think early 1900s to 1960s maybe, or 1969, I don't know. But it was basically, Dapper Day basically means just like something clean, something chic. It was very classy, and it just gave a lot of like Lindy Hop vibes. Lindy Hop being like roaring 20s, maybe 50s, 60s. I'm thinking about like Footloose era. So yeah, it was just like I went shopping. Literally, I was thrift shopping for all of these old stuff. I got really nice stuff there. I walked around the entire venue with my friends. We went shopping here and there, and we were also dancing because our dance studio was also present there to perform and teach people how to dance, and they had a dance floor, and we just danced the whole day. And then later that evening, I was there from 11 a.m. Well, not 11 a.m. I woke up at 11 a.m., but we were there from 12 up until 8 p.m., I think. So the convention closed around 6:30, and my friends and I decided we would go to Downtown Disney and dance for the first time together because this was something we wanted to do. And it was something I always wanted to do before in the past, but it was kind of different because the layout for Downtown Disney is they got rid of, or they closed off the area where the stage usually was and the concrete floor where people would usually dance in. And instead they shifted everyone to like a grass area, and it's not even real grass, by the way. So it was kind of hard to dance there because on the grass it was not an even surface, but it was good for my ankles because my ankles were hurting that whole day. And yeah, it was just kind of hard to dance on the grass, and people who dance on the sidewalk was too hard, and it caused a lot of problems for my ankles too. So yeah, but still I had a great time with my friends. And then after that I went to my cousin's birthday around 9 o'clock that evening with my friend. And then we came home around like 1 or 2 in the morning, and then she stayed till 3 a.m. And then that following day, that morning of, I woke up at 9:30 and I was supposed to wake up at 7 a.m. to get ready for Anime Expo Chibi, which took place I think in Ontario, California, and that was like almost an hour away for me. And I woke up late because I slept through my alarms, and it technically was my choice. I made the decision to oversleep, and I knew that I was probably not going to wake up from my alarms, so it's my fault. But irregardless, I managed to go to Anime Chibi Expo with my meeting a friend for the first time from this one Discord server where we have the same interest in this one anime. And I did a live stream on my other channel, because this channel couldn't allow live streams unless 24 hours had passed. So I was like, okay, screw it, I'm gonna use my other account. So I used that to stream. So we have an unlisted video of that whole day's adventure. And we did Anime Expo from I think 12 until 3:30. No, I left the house, I arrived there around 1. So yeah, from 1 till 3:30 we were walking around the area. And although they call it Anime Expo Chibi, it was still significantly huge. Like, I just can't believe they would call that a Chibi Expo. I would say that's like average expo probably, but Anime Expo is considered really, really big. So I could almost imagine like how big it would be. And going on that tangent, I've never been to Anime Expo yet, so yeah, I can only assume that Anime Expo Chibi is just like a small segment of what the real Anime Expo is like. And sorry, my nose is getting clogged every time I keep talking. But yeah. So after that, I went from that area in Ontario, and I drove all the way to Arcadia, which was another 40-minute drive. So it's like from my place to Ontario to Arcadia, where we grouped up with our other SoCal friends who also enjoyed this anime TV show that we all bonded over. And it was the first time we all met together, and it was great. We spent time having lunch dinner with each other, and then we had karaoke for the rest of the evening. And I think that was about it. It was great. We finished the event around, I think 10, maybe 11, and I dropped off my friend in LA, then I went straight home. So yeah, it was a really, 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 really busy weekend for me, and now here I am trying to survive on going back to work, being exposed to children who have very high energies, and I'm just like, they're super drained from this past weekend of being exposed to so many social interactions. So yeah, that's practically my week. That's my recap, and I apologize if I was just talking for too much, but yeah, that's about it. I hope your guys' week have been great. If you want to share what you've done over the weekend, feel free to comment below on the video, or you can also comment in a Discord group. If you are part of it. If you'd like to join that Discord group, the link for it is in the description box below, so feel free to join and check it out. I was just about to blend the two words together, and I'm like, ugh, good job me. Anyways, we're gonna go ahead and jump straight to our next segment, which is the language acquisition tracker. So for you guys who don't know what language acquisition tracker is, I would suggest you guys watch the live stream number 11. And I've time-stamped all of them before, so I don't know what I'm saying. I've time-stamped all of the minutes in the previous live stream, so I will probably do the same thing here after I end today's stream. So I will attempt. Who knows if I will actually follow through, because I might sleep after this, considering how I feel. So this is the language acquisition tracker. And basically, I created this through Canva. I am selling it on through Canva. If you guys want to support what I do on YouTube and also what I do for teaching online. You can also find the link for this in the description box. Just follow it to my Ko-Fi account, and yeah, please check it out. And this was from last week. We covered English for Everyone Chapter 1 through, I should say, 3, because at least now we know where we stopped at. And we wrote about, like, what are we expecting to do for each session? So how is it measurable? So measurable, again, is how can I show that I have shown, like, knowledge that I've learned? How can I show that it is measurable? And basically, this entire paper is what makes it show. This entire PDF file is basically how it shows that it's being measured. Attainable just tells you, like, oh, how long did you do this? And I said yes, in a week. Studied 60 minutes. Relevant, yes, because I am developing my conversation skills, most likely in terms of you guys who are watching this video. And time bound is usually 1 week, because I personally would prefer you, if you were to purchase this or make your own, this is good for 1 week. And I would stress not to spend too much time on this. If you want to do a minimum of 15 minutes, that's perfectly okay. If you want to do 60 minutes, that's okay. My rule of thumb is don't exceed 90 minutes. The reason I say that is because I've worked with students and I've tested my students' limit when it comes to learning English. And I noticed that after the 60-minute mark, usually maybe around 80 minutes or 90 minutes, that's when they start making more mistakes in English, because their brain is frying up from learning so many things within the hour that when it's time for them to display more of their knowledge, they can't think straight anymore because they've been concentrating for so long. So I would say usually less than 90 minutes a day, minimum 15 minutes. That's it. Okay, so I'm gonna make a copy of this, and basically we covered what we did that day. We talked about grammar, chapter 1 grammar, listening activities 1.6, 1.12, and I'm pretty sure there's more of that, but this was all done in one day, which was all last Tuesday. And then we talked about motivation, like what is your motivation to learn English? And then if you have any notes, talk about it. What did you take note of from this lesson, etc. And then milestone or progress markers. I wrote here, I can tell the difference between greeting and introducing someone in informal English and formal English. Like formal, I'd like to introduce Claudia to you. This is Claudia. I can greet in informal and formal English. Good morning, how are you today? Which is formal. Or informal, hi, how are you doing? I realized I didn't say how are you doing. I'm just gonna put it here in parentheses. Mainly because when you are saying it in slang, some people might even drop the R. They would say, how you doing? Like how you doing today? So you notice they got rid of the R part here, but I put that in parentheses because some people keep it, some people drop it. And that's just how it is. Reflections, what worked. So for example, reading the questions aloud for the first time before listening to the audio, answering the questions helped me know what I was looking for. What didn't work, the activities were too repetitive and I got bored easily, and then things I can improve on. I should watch more videos online or in films where they practice speaking in informal and informal English. So yeah, that's basically, this is all subjective. It's for your own personal benefit and your experience. So these are just some things I just wrote on the spot. Since I already know English, I don't think my reflections are accurate, but these are just some of my examples of what you could write. All right. So since today is another lesson, what I did was I just duplicated the page. Oops, I didn't duplicate it. So I would press this button, duplicate page. Boom, we're already on the second page. So now we are in chapter 3 to question mark. So measurable, I've completed activities from the lecture book and the practice book. So, sorry, I just have something in my throat. I think I should just drink water. Hold on. Okay. So the practice book is only exclusive for people who subscribe to my channel via Ko-Fi. So if you follow me on Ko-Fi and you subscribe to me there, I've uploaded practice book pages from the grammar book, and it's covering from the lesson from the current stream and the stream before it. So I just put that in a small bundle, and then I just upload it as a PDF file, and people can complete it. They can write it as a comment in the forums on Discord, or they could fill it out themselves if they're able to. So I don't care what they do with it, but I'm also willing to just grade it and just tell them, okay, here are the answer keys, or I'll send it back to them and say, okay, here is your result with the corrections. It's not a problem for me, but I'm only willing to do it if you guys subscribe, mainly because it does take some time from my end. But yeah, I would happily give feedback if you guys want to do that. Again, the attainable is in 1 week, study for 60 minutes, which is what I'm doing for my one. I don't know if I'll do like every day. We'll see in the future. For streaming online. So it's just like 60 minutes. Relevant. Yes, because I'm developing my conversation skills. More so for you guys than it is for me. And again, 1 week time bound. Motivation and purpose. Improve my English. You can also write more here. And of course, it changes every week because you have to understand what goals you need to reinforce what you're learning. So that should be important to you guys more so than me. So now that we're on wait, today's not 8, this is 14. So the 14, we have chapter 3, grammar 2, whatever. And then listening activities for whatever, for I don't know what it is going to be, but we'll see where it goes. Yeah, I think that's about it in terms of the I'm sorry, I'm just like having brain fog moment. Language acquisition tracker. So that's it for today's language acquisition tracker in terms of preparing for the lesson. And of course, you can fill in the milestone progress markers with something else. I'm just gonna put an X right now because I don't know what to fill it in. And then you can write your reflections here too. So I'm gonna go ahead and delete this and put an X. Put an X there. So I know that I will fill this in later. Okay. Let me go ahead and change my screen now to my tablet. So 1 second while I do that. Totally forgot. Okay. So what I have to do... Nope. This one, and then boom. Ta-da! Alright. Now we have my little tablet here. So for chapter 3, we're looking at where things are. English uses prepositions to talk about where things are. It is important to learn the correct prepositions for different phrases describing location and direction. So yeah, we're looking at prepositions, and they basically describe locations and directions. That's all we need to highlight. The key language, prepositions of place. Many locations must have a particular preposition before them. Using the wrong preposition can change the meaning of a sentence about where things are. And... oh, sorry. Apologies for that. So we have by the sea, on the coast, on an island, off the coast, in the north, in the mountain, in the forest, in the city, on the river. Okay, so I can also write other notes here for you guys, so I'm gonna do a different color just for notes. Let's go with blue. So another one I like to use is when you say by the sea, you can also say next as an alternative. I can zoom in. Boom. Okay. So instead of saying by, this entire phrase can be substituted by saying next to. I'm next to the sea, or I'm by the sea. So that's just an alternative if you'd like to say that. I'm on the coast. I don't really use the word on the coast or by the coast a lot. Mainly, I would assume it's because where I live in the city, we don't use that kind of jargon. So I kind of find the word on the coast kind of weird for me. But I would assume it's like on the edge of something there. That's my assumption. On an island is pretty explanatory. You're on top of an object, so people sometimes confuse in and on. This is how I would try to distinguish them. On is on top of something. And then in is inside. So inside. Not to the side, but inside of it. And then off the coast, which is interesting because if I'm assuming on the coast means that you're on the land, off the coast would be referring that you're somewhere in the ocean, I think. Or like on top of the ocean. Or maybe it's like part of it's under the ocean and sticking out. I don't know. But yeah, I don't use the word on the coast or off the coast in my daily language. That's why if I mistaken it from time to time, I apologize. It's just a language that I don't use on my everyday conversation skills. Okay. So next, like I mentioned here, in is easy to remember because you're inside something. So if you're in the north, you're the northern part, right? So you're within the northern part. In the mountains, you are inside the mountains. In the forest, you're inside of the forest. You're in the city, inside the city. On the river. So again, you don't say in the river. The reason why you don't say in the river is because when you say you're in something, you're inside it, right? So if you say I'm in the river, that means you are swimming. That's kind of the impression I get from there. Again, my device is not zooming. So in this case, in and on are not equal with each other. Because if you say, again, in the river, it means swimming inside or swimming in the river. Okay. So if you clarify and say, I'm on a boat, like here, I'm on a boat, which is on the river, then that makes sense because you're standing on top of a boat and you're on top of a river. Or you could also say I'm inside the boat, meaning that you're not on the deck, which is up top of the boat. You're inside of the ship or inside of the boat and you're currently sailing down a river. There you go. So yes, English is a little bit confusing because in everyday conversations, we also interchange in and on when it comes to riding vehicles. So you might hear people saying I'm on the bus versus I'm in the bus. I'm on the plane versus I'm in the plane. What is the word for it? On the bus, in the plane, on a boat, in a boat. I think there is a specific rule. I'm gonna check it on right now. That is so interesting. And this is from Britain. Okay, let me show it to you guys. 1 second. What is going on here? Okay. Alright, for 1 quick second. Britannica, just so as you guys reference, this is English, British English. Usually you should use in when you're talking about small vehicles or personal vehicles. So I would say like your car, for example. I'm in the car. I'm driving in a car right now. Or I'm inside a car. I'm in the passenger seat. No. I'm in a car riding on the passenger seat because you're sitting on top of it. Use on when you're talking about large vehicle or public vehicle. So you would say I'm on a bus, I'm on a plane, I'm on a subway. For small vehicles like those, use on. I'm like, oh my gosh. So you can see it's kind of weird to say which one is the correct one, in or on. It just really depends. But I know there is a grammar rule for specifically using which is in or on. So here they said another one here. On for large vehicles which you can stand and walk around in, a bus, an airplane, a train, a metro, subway, car, a cruise ship, a boat. Use in for usually smaller vehicles or craft that you have to enter and sit in. So that's actually pretty interesting. So if you're gonna sit inside, just to help you guys remember, use assonance, I think is what they said. In and sit with the I. So in, sit. which is actually the name of a coffee house restaurant. That's just a very random thing for me to remember. So in sit, it would be you sit in a car, you sit in a taxi, a truck, a helicopter, canoe, kayak, small boat, carriage, rickshaw. And it's interesting. You say small boat here, and there's also a boat here. But yeah, as you can see, we try to distinguish them, but in actuality, so if people are going to converse in English, everyday English, I'm just going to be honest and say it's straight out of the window. We say in and on inexchangeably when it comes to riding some sort of vehicle. I don't know why, but that's how it is in informal English. We don't know the grammar rule for that. That's why it's always interchangeable. But if you are looking at it from a very formal perspective and you have to know the English really well, there's a very specific rule for it. So yeah, I'm just reading all of this stuff again. So not on the car, helicopter, as long as you are inside it. Yeah, this one's inside a vehicle. You're inside something. Yeah, it's just hard for me to explain sometimes because I have the moment where I'm just like you just witnessed, I'm just like processing. Like in, sit, on, where you can walk. But yeah, I end my case. Sometimes it's so confusing to understand too. So don't worry, guys. If you're confused, so am I. You are not alone. Also, hold on one second. I'm trying to change my screen for you guys. Boom. Okay. I just wanted to point that out just because I know a lot of people ask me, they're like, okay, how do you know the difference between in and on? There you go. But yeah, here we are. Coming back to our point. We have vocabulary, compass points, and useful phrases. Again, I will be reading it out loud with my accent. Hopefully you guys don't mind. I have a Californian accent, for those of you who want to know what kind of accent I have. We have the opposite side of the world, around the world, north, northeast, east, southeast, south, southwest, west, northwest, and north. Alright, we have read the postcard and fill in the gaps with the correct preposition of place. We have, if we remember, because we have to reference them using this page. So we have by, on, off, in. As far as I see. So let me put it here as reference. By, off, on, in. Right? By, on, off, in. Yep. That's all of it. And I'm going to change this to black again. Alright. So if you guys need a moment to pause the screen and fill in this answer by yourself, feel free to. If not, I'm gonna go ahead and fill in the answer for you guys. And yeah, feel free to unpause the video and compare what answers you have on here. So we have, Dear Yasmin, we're having a nice time on the island of Tenerife, which is just off the coast, I believe. Yeah, sorry, off the African coast. So how do I know it's off coast? It's if I remember, it's an island, Tenerife, so it's just at the edge. So my understanding of off the coast is like towards the edge or off of the island. Again, I apologize. I don't use this kind of language every day. Today we're blank. Oops, sorry. Today we're blank the city of Santa Ana Cruz. Not Santa Ana, Santa Cruz. So when you're in a city or at a city, you're usually inside it. So in the city of Santa Cruz, our hotel is blank the coast, which is great because I love being blank the sea. So we know that we have off is already done. We have in the city is already done. So we have by and on. So our hotel is on the coast. Which is great because I love being by the sea. Sorry, I said out loud, by the sea. And then signed me. Apparently, it's me. All right, we have listen to the audio and answer the questions. Joe and Patsy are on a trip around the world. They introduce themselves to some other travelers. So again, I'm gonna play the audio for you once. Feel free to pause the video and listen to the audio again and answer the questions. I'm gonna go ahead and answer it as soon as the audio ends. So feel free to just pause the video before I start answering the questions and you can compare your answers. Okay. So let me go ahead and get the music to stop first. And this is 3.4. Wow, I guessed it. Alright, so before we move, Before I play it, let me just read the questions aloud. I feel like if you read the questions out loud first, you know exactly what you're listening for, and then you start listening to the audio. So number 1, where is Raj from? India, the Indian Ocean, or South Africa? Number 2, where is the Isle of Skye? Off the coast, on the river, or on the coast? 3, where in England is Where in England is Manchester? The north, the northwest, the west? 4, where is Tasmania? East of Australia, west of Australia, south of Australia? 5, who doesn't live on an island? Raj, Patsy, or Carla? Okay, I'm now gonna go ahead and play the audio for you guys.
Hi, I'm Joe, and this is Patsy.
Hi, I'm Raj. Where are you from?
We're from the UK.
You're English.
I'm English, and Patsy's Scottish.
Where are you from, Raj?
I'm from Durban in South Africa.
That's on the coast, isn't it?
Yes, the East Coast, right by the Indian Ocean.
Nice.
What town are you from, Patsy?
I'm from the Isle of Skye. It's a little island off the west coast of Scotland.
And you, Joe?
I'm from Manchester. It's in the northwest of England.
I've heard of it. Football, right? Oh, here's Carla. Carla, meet Joe and Patsy.
Hi, Carla. Where are you from?
I'm from Tasmania. It's a beautiful island off the south coast of Australia.
Nice to meet you.
You too.
Okay. Alright, let's compare answers. So we have number 1, where's Raj from? The answer should be South Africa. 2, where is the Isle of Skye? It is off the coast. 3, where in England is Manchester? It is the northwest. 4, where is Tasmania? It is in the south of Australia. And who doesn't live on an island? Raj. Sorry about that. It's hard to pinch my page for some reason. Okay. Okay. 1 second. It looks like my Remarkable probably crashed. So... Oh no, it didn't. Okay, that's great. Good to know. It's working fine. Alright. So, I'm just double checking. Okay, it's working fine. We have respond to the audio speaking out loud. So, I think I have to pull up the audio again for you guys here. We have to listen to the audio again. My bad. Again, you guys, pause the video, write down the answer, then compare. What I'm gonna do is that I'm going to listen to each audio and I'm gonna write them down right away. So try to avoid looking at the screen. Or well, I think what I'll do is I'll play it all for you guys first, and then I will write down the answers after I finish all the audios. So you have that reference. Okay. So we are at 3.5, respond to the audio, speaking out loud. For the example,
what country are you from?
I'm from Brazil.
Okay. Then I'm gonna get the rest for you.
What nationality are you?
I'm Brazilian.
What town do you live in?
I live in Santos.
Where exactly is your town?
It's in the southeast of Brazil.
Do you live on the coast?
Yes, I live on the east coast.
What's the capital city of your country?
The capital city of Brazil is Brasilia.
Okay. If you need time again, just pause the video and re-listen to all of those audios to compare your answer. I'm gonna go right ahead and tell you what the answer is. Number 1, what nationality are you? I'm Brazilian. Okay. 2, what town do you live in? I live in Santos. 3, where exactly is your town? It's in the southeast of Brazil. Do you live on the coast? Yes. I live on the east coast. And 5, what's the capital city of your country? The capital city of Brazil is Brasilia, I believe is the pronunciation. I apologize if I said it incorrectly. But yes, that should be your answer. Okay. So, sorry, before I move on, these are kind of great examples of a conversation jargon if you were to introduce yourself to someone or get to know someone too. So you can practice this by answering your own true answer. So like, for example, what nationality are you? I would say I'm American. What town do you live in? I would say whatever is the closest area for me. So I would say Anaheim. Where exactly is your town? And I would say it's... where is Anaheim? I would say maybe southwestern of Anaheim. I don't know my directions, to be honest. So yeah, I think it's somewhere below Anaheim, but somewhere there. Do you live on the coast? No, I don't live on the coast. What is the capital city of your country? It is, I believe for California, I think it's Sacramento. Should be. I apologize if I'm wrong. But yeah. Moving on, we can look at key language precise prepositional phrases. We have right next to. This one is, again, sorry, let me just do this in a different color for just reference. Right next to, again, could be alternatively, I can't talk. Right next to could also be used as alternatively as by, right? So you can say, I live right next to, I live by, ... So the impression is next or besides something. We have in front of, we have halfway between, or another one could be in the middle of. So people might say halfway between. I don't personally use that language. I would say in the middle of. This is why I said it here as a reference. Just to the left of whatever. Directly opposite. You could say right across. I'm going to put a parenthesis on right because sometimes it doesn't mean right across. Right should be taken as, oh, it is directly. So right and directly is kind of used as similes in this example. So directly across or directly opposite. Diagonally across, again, instead of opposite, I would say across. Diagonally across is more common in my everyday language with people than it is to say opposite. Yeah. So these are some just extra words to help you guys with different prepositional phrases. Okay, we have match the pictures to the correct sentences. So we have it's on the coast, it's right next to the hospital. So it's right next to the hospital has already been answered, so we can ignore that. It's halfway between two stores. It's diagonally opposite the castle. It's in front of the forest. So we have it's on the coast would be this one. We have it's halfway between two stores. I don't know why they say halfway. You can actually just say in at least in American English, or specifically California, you could just say it's between. It's between the two stores. You don't have to say halfway. I don't know why they do that. It could be a British reference. I don't know. But just know that you could technically remove halfway between. And instead of crossing it out, I should just put it as a bracket, which means that it doesn't necessarily have to be there. Oh, sorry, not brackets. Let's just do parentheses. Because parentheses are the most accurate ones, saying that it's optional to be there or not. We have it's diagonally opposite the castle. We have an image of the castle. And we have it's in front of the forest. And that's the last one here. There you go. So this is a great reference. Of course, perspective is everything. Because if you and a person... I'm just going to give an example. There's a game I play with my friends online that's called Don't Starve Together. And when you start the game, your map is flipped in a random direction. So what could be considered your north could be someone's east, west, or south. So it's not the same map. Not unless both of you guys coordinate and say, oh, well, the map should be faced this way. So the map should be pointing, like, for example, you guys arrive on the same map together. And you say, okay, above me is the river. And I'm going to say that's my north. And then they decide to follow you, and they make it as their north, too. So perspective is important because what could be, like, for example, number 4. Sorry, not number 4. Like, it's in front of the forest, number 2. Your house could either be in front of the forest, or if your friend is from the other side, your house is behind the forest. So, yeah. Just more perspective stuff. Alright, 3.8. Read the article and write answers to the questions as full sentences using prepositions of place. So, we are going to use the same language again. I'm going to read this out loud for you guys. There might come a day where, let's say, if I just can't speak, my throat is hurting, I'll just have the computer or like the audio just read it for you out loud. And I could just take a break talking. Anyways. Explore the world, the best places to visit this year. City profile, Durban. Durban is one of the largest cities in South Africa. It is situated by the Indian Ocean on a huge bay on the east coast. With its mild winter climate and its and its location right next to beautiful beaches, Durban is a surfer's paradise. It is also a magnet for tourists, with several fascinating museums about Durban's history in the city center. Durban hosted the World Cup soccer matches in 2012 and is home to many cultural events like the city's annual International Film Festival. International conferences are often held at the new conference center. Durban is the home of Southern Africa's busiest port and is a major manufacturing center. There are excellent transportation links to many major cities, including Johannesburg, or is it Johannesburg or Johannesburg in the north, and Cape Town on the west coast. So normally, this kind of went over my head. Normally, I would read the questions first, then I would read the story. but similar to what we did with the audio activity, it's just easier for you to know what you're looking for before you answer it. So anyways, I'm gonna read the questions first. You guys can pause the video, write down your answers, and then compare your answers to mine in a moment. So number 1, which ocean is Durban situated by? 2, which coast is Durban on? 3, how close is the city to beaches? Where in Durban can you find museums? 5, where in Durban are conferences held? 6, where is South Africa, Johannesburg? And 7, which coast is Cape Town on? So again, if you need to pause this video to fill it out, go for it. I'm just checking what number this is. 3.8. Alright. So number 1, Durban. Which ocean is Durban situated by? If you want complete sentences, you have to say Durban. Oops, I realized I wrote this in blue. Let me change it back to black. Durban is by the Indian Ocean. Which coast is Durban on? Durban is on the East Coast. How close is the city to the beaches? So Durban is right next to beaches. What's interesting is normally I would say the right here is right next to the beaches, but for some reason they dropped the, which is really interesting. Again, it might be because of maybe it's a British, maybe the book itself, sometimes it's a mixture of American and sometimes it's a mixture of British influence. So it could be British influence. I don't know. I'm not really sure about that, to be honest, because I'm not a British person. Where in Durban can you find museums? You can find museums in the city center. Where in Durban are conferences held? So conferences are held at the new conference center. Okay. And then number 6, where in South Africa is Johannesburg? Johannesburg might be the pronunciation. Johannesburg is in the north of South Africa. And then which coast is Cape Town on? Cape Town is on the west coast. Nice. Alright, so that's everything for that reading. I don't know if I will do chapter 4 today. We might have some time. Why not? Let's do it. Let's do numbers and statistics. We are on chapter 4. Fractions, decimals, and percentages are all pronounced differently in spoken English, following a few simple rules. Key language fractions. You might see fractions written out as words, aside from half and quarter. The bottom number of a fraction is written or spoken as ordinal numbers. So, some references here. We have things called cardinal numbers. So this one is saying like 1, 2, 3, ... so on and so forth. Ordinal numbers. Let's put this as a shortcut. Ordinal numbers are basically first, second, ... third, fourth, fifth, etc. So what helps me remember the difference between these two is that ordinal can reference order. So ranking is order. So we have, for example, here, a quarter or 1/4. We could say 1/4 or a quarter, a third or 1/3, half. I would say half is better because if we were to say the full one, we would say 1/2. You don't really say 1/2. 1/2 sounds 1 second. Do you see how weird it sounds? 1 second sounds kind of weird. So I would say maybe 1/2, but it's such a mouthful, you don't really need it. But if you say 1 second, it kind of gives me a different reference because we're talking about time. Give me 1 second, please, right? So it's not really needed for saying 1 second. So just stick with half. You could say a half or just half. So again, is just optional to say a half or just half. We have 3/5. There's no shortcut for this one. We have 1.5. This one's very important. You have to say the word and. So use and to link a whole number and a fraction. Forgot this one. Use cardinal numbers for the top of a fraction, which I already covered here. Use ordinal numbers for bottom of a fraction. Okay. Key language decimals. So decimals are always written as numbers, not words. The decimal point is pronounced point, and all numbers after the decimal point are spoken separately. So we have 0.5, not 0.5, or 0.5. There are 3 ways of saying decimals that begin with 0. So what's interesting is that the word not, 0.5 is not very common in American English, so we don't say that a lot. We don't say not 0.5. We would usually say 0.5 or 0.5 as the most common here. We have 1.7. This is as it is. We don't have any shortcuts there. And then 3.97. So decimal points are written in English using a period or full stop. So 3.97 or, well, here, you don't say 3.97. That is actually quite true. I forgot because this kind of throws you off. When you say 3.97, this kind of gives a reference of money, right? So if you say $3.97, so again, $3.97 means 3.97, but the assumption would be money. And that makes it different from decimals, because decimals, when you say 3.97, I would say it's more about measurement, I believe, for math and science that use this. So I think when you're referring to decimals, you don't refer to them saying 97 because it would confuse you into thinking, for example, if you say this, 397. What does this number mean to me? If I hear this, I would think of it as this. So notice there is no decimal point. I don't say 3.97. I would assume it as 397 as 397. And of course, if you say 397, I could also assume that as it could be related to money again. So it could be $397 or $3.97, which is why the jargon there would be confusing. So here, you do not say 3.97, just say 3.97. You're separating them. Okay, so enough of that rant. 4.3, key language percentages. The percentage symbol is written and spoken as percent. You might also see percent written in UK English. Percentages are normally written as numbers, not words. So we have 1%, 99%, 55.5%. So again, the percentage symbol is pronounced percent. And the way that I refer to this, percentage, if you guys want that spelling, percentage symbol. Okay. They might even call it the percent symbol, so it's like percentage, percent symbol, doesn't matter. All right, we are now moving on to 4.4, say the numbers out loud. We have 3/4 on the first one here. If you need to pause and fill in this activity, please do so now. Because if not, I'm going to go ahead and share the answer. So we have to write this down. How do you say this word? It is 30%. And I realize I'm not using black. I like to keep it as like blue for making notes. So I tend to forget to do that. 30%, not percents, no S. We have point, or you can say another one I think I forgot to mention. We could actually say O point. 0.75. Okay. So I think I forgot to mention it here. Sorry, I'm gonna go back for 1 second and highlight here so you guys have the notes. You can also refer to 0 as O. 0.5. And that is perfectly okay. We do use that expression as well in American English, I believe. So I put O here as a reference. So 0.5 or 0.5, 0.75 or 0.75. We have 1/8. We have 82%. We have number 5, 2.9. Then we have 3 and a half. Oh, sorry about that. 3.5. All right. We are now moving on to exercise 4.5. Listen to the audio and complete the sentences with numbers. You will hear a you will hear a sports report from athletics championship. So for example, we have Jerry Smith beat the 400 meter record by 1.5 seconds. I'm probably going to pronounce the name incorrectly. We have Kamau Mburu's time in the 400 meter was blank seconds. Kenya holds blank of the long distance medals. 3 Suchin jumped blank meters in the high jump. 4 the Millennium Stadium was blank full. Lorna Davis jumped blank meters in the long jump. 6 John Wood won the 800 meter by blank seconds. Okay, so I'm gonna play the audio once. Feel free to pause the video and repeat the audio again and fill up the answer here. And you can compare your answers with mine. So 1 second while I pull that up. This is 4.5.
And now the highlights from today's Athletics Championship. Australia's Jerry Smith beat the world 400 metres record by 1.5 seconds. Kenya's Kamau Mburu won silver in the 400 metres with a time of 43.4 seconds. Kenya now holds 50% of the long-distance medals. China's Su Chin won the women's high jump with an incredible jump of 2.05 metres. Although the Millennium Stadium was only 3/4 full today, spectators were thrilled to see Lorna Davis win the women's long jump with a jump of 7.12 metres, and John Wood win the 800 metres by 2.75 seconds.
All right. You don't have to write the spelling for it. You can just write the number. Kamau Mburu's time in the 400 meter was 43.4 seconds. Kenya holds 50% of the long distance medals. Then we have Su Chin jumped 2.05 meters in the high jump. The Millennium Stadium was 3/4 full. Lorna Davis jumped 7.12 meters in the long jump. And John Wood won the 800 meter by 2.75 seconds. Sorry for my 5. There we go. We have 4.6. Say the sentences out loud, saying the numbers correctly. So we'll listen to an audio again and fill in the blank here. I'm gonna go ahead and just rest my voice for a bit because I'm starting to feel a bit tired. We'll go ahead and let you listen to the audio, each of them one at a time. Pause and repeat if needed. And then right after we finish all 5 audios, I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys the answers right away.
Tony Elliott was just 30 centimetres behind Lee. Jessie Cope ran the 100 metres in 9.6 seconds. This was 2/3 of a second faster than his last race. Jenny O'Day ran the 100 metres in 10.2 seconds. The US currently holds 19% of the medals.
Okay. If you guys didn't understand what you were doing, you're basically spelling the numbers out loud. So you're basically rewriting the same sentences, except this part needs to be written out. So we have Tony Elliott was just 30 centimeters behind Lee. Okay. We have Jessie Cope ran the 100 meters in 9.6 seconds. What's interesting is the 100 meters or the 100. I'm gonna put parentheses. The 100 meters in 9.6 seconds. Another interesting thing is that in English, when we say 100 meters, the 100-meter race, for example, we usually say the 100 meter. I don't know if we say 100 meters. 100 meters race or 100 meter. Because if we're measuring it as like some sort of distance, maybe it would be like the 100-meter race. Because this is used as an adjective. That's what I'm trying to explain here. So what kind of race was it? The 100-meter race. If you guys catch my drift. So yeah, it's interesting here they don't put the dash. Because if you say 100-meter race, it would become an adjective. Technically, I would accept it because maybe it's a American English versus British English thing. Maybe it's not. British people can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not sure. But as far as I can think of, like in terms of creative writing or maybe some sports reading I've had in the past, they would put a dash somewhere. Like it's usually saying the distance number and then whatever measurement it was, there's a dash in between. And they use that as an adjective to describe what kind of race it was. So this was 2/3 to, sorry for that. This was 2/3, is there an S there? Yeah, 2/3 of a second faster than his last race. Jenny O'Day ran the, again, 100, and I'm gonna put an invisible dash here, meters, and then put the S in parentheses, because I don't know if it's a difference between American and British. So we can have the 100, I'm just gonna keep the S for now, because I'm following the answer key. the 100 meters in 10.2 seconds. Or it could be, alternatively, the 100 meter. But then for this to happen, you need to have the word race here, the 100 meter race. For this to be qualified to say this, you need to have this. If you say Jenny O'Day ran the 100 meters, I think in this case, this is the adjective and this is the noun. So as you can see, there's no dash required here because we separated them into different word class. Okay, the US currently holds 19% of the medals. Whoops, it moved. The US currently holds 19% of the medals. Okay, and that is everything from today's 4.6 session. We are going to stop right there. We will work on chapter 5 times and dates another time because it has been a good 72-minute run based on the time, if I'm doing my math correctly. So yeah, that's it for today's session in terms of our grammar. I forgot to go to that window of English for everyone. Whoopsies. Let me just change the screen. Alright, so what did we work on today? We did chapter 3 to 4. And I should change the previous one, 1 to 2. Because we just finished that. Okay, so we did chapter 3 to 5 grammar. We had some listening activities. Oh wait, 3 to 4, because we didn't even touch 5. So our listening activities included... What are some examples that we did? We had 3.4. We had 3.5. And 4.5. So this was roughly 10-15 minutes, I guess. I'll just put 15 minutes. Guesstimating. We also did, what did we work on today? We worked with prepositions. We can say in, on, by, and off. This is your reference, and then today's date. We can talk about numbers, fractions, percentages, and decimals. Wait, let me just do decimals first, and then I'm just gonna do a shortcut and put that. Percentages, just so it's easy. Chapter 4. There you go. And of course, if you ever need to do a check mark, I'm such a perfectionist when it comes to this. So motivation and purpose, improve my English. So an example would be distinguish, use accurate preposition expressions. It's one of them. Use accurate. You can say number, numeric, or mathematical expressions, which is what we did for chapter 4. Here we already talked about our notes for in and on, so you could say like when to use in. Think, sit, inside. Double eyes. And then when to use on. Don't worry, I'm gonna put more notes into it. I just like to see an overview first. Think, walk, and on. Rhyme. Okay. So walk and on, they have the same aw sound, so that's like a phonemic similarity if I want to be fancy with that. And then double eyes for sit and inside. So they say to use in when you're saying inside a small vehicle. So typically a taxi, car. What else did they say? I was trying to see online. There's taxi, car. Truck, helicopter. My bad. What else? Truck, helicopter, new kayak. Small boat, etc. And then we have on here, we have large vehicles. Where you can walk. So an example would be like an airplane, a bus, a cruise ship, a boat. What else do we have here? A metro or subway. Etc. Right? So these are cool takeaways for that. You can also talk about cardinal numbers. Ordinals. So those are some examples to help you distinguish them. You don't have to write the same notes. Again, it's just, these are some things I pointed out in my lesson, and this is why I highlighted them. Milestone progress markers, you can just write whatever you want, just to show proof that you know the difference. So you can say, for example, I want to use preposition. So I'm on the plane and I'll be departing soon. Or you can say, I'm in the car right now. I'll be there in 20 minutes. Okay. And you can say numerical expressions. You can say 1/5. I believe it's expression here. There you go. I forgot. So, key thing I forgot for myself, and might be good for you guys to know too. What's interesting is when it's above 1/3, 1/3. Did we say 1/3 for something? I need to double check. Ah, okay. You say 1/5, but if you were to say like 3 out of 5, it would become. I forgot to write this as my note on here. 3/5 with an S at the end. It's because the number on top changes. That's why you add the S at the end. And that's something I didn't highlight in the note, which I will do right now. Just in case you guys need that reference. Because I was looking at it and I was like, wait, something feels off. Because in our note, I have it in front of me. There's one that they said 1/3 and the answer is 1/3. But what happens if you say 2/3, right? So this would become 2/3. So you need an S at the end. That is the most crucial thing I forgot to point out to you guys in your thing. I will also write it down right now. You will see it once I have it exported as a PDF. So let me write this down very quickly for your reference. If there is more than one, add S to the ordinal. Okay. So an example would be 2/3 would be 2/3. Okay, I wrote it down in the notes so you'll be able to see that in the PDF file. So you can have access to the PDF file if you join the Discord group, and I will post it under that post for the live stream session. And of course, if you subscribe, I will also attach the practice book activities for you guys to complete at your own time. And if you want me to correct it, just resubmit. Yes, just resubmit the PDF to me or on the chat. Maybe in the same forum. I'm thinking about having a Dropbox. I'll debate about it. And from there, that's when I can give feedback and corrections. Probably I would DM the person and be like, hey, here's the answer. This is how you did. Okay. So I think that's enough for the numerical examples, or these are your milestone or progress markers. So essentially, again, progress or milestone markers are just displaying your knowledge and how well you understand the material. What worked, what didn't work. I'm not gonna go ahead and I'm not gonna fill this in because I don't have the time. But this is what your thoughts are on your experience with this lesson. So what worked with you? What didn't work? So I guess one I forgot to provide here was I forgot to mention that numerical, sorry, that fractions that have more than one on top number means that you must add an S to the ordinal number. That's one thing. What worked? What didn't work? This is just notes that I wrote for myself, things I can improve on, etc. So again, it's more for your experience than it is mine. I just filled in whatever I could for helping you guide what you want to write in your own reflection for the language acquisition tracker. But yeah, other than that, that's it for today's session. So we've finished our English for Everyone session. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or suggestions, or our QCCS, please feel free to leave a comment in this video below. Or you can join our Discord server. I will post this under the live stream session. So after I end today's stream, I'm gonna go ahead and download the GIF, whatever I call it, icon. I'm gonna upload the itinerary and the link to this, as well as the PDF file of all of my notes for today's session under there. I will also upload the practice book in the Grammar 101 forum, which is only exclusive for my subscribers, again, who have subscribed to me on my Ko-Fi. So if you check out the membership for my Ko-Fi, which I will open very, very briefly. Ko-Fi. Oh. There we go. Oh, the Homebody teacher. I forgot. I changed my name. Yeah, here I am. So yeah, if you join my membership, if you are a sushi roll, nerve of tungsten, or a imperial English scholar, you should have access to the Grammar 101 session. This one here doesn't have it. It's just couch potatoes. They're able to join live stream, language zone access, simp hour access. Simp hour is just basically singing is my passion, which is like karaoke. And the Homebody Cafe podcast, listening only. Some exclusive content and 10% off discount. So if this is just someone who's very passive and just wants to learn, which is okay, it's just really up to you. But Sushi Roll is putting more effort, Nerve of Tungsten is taking it seriously, and of course, if you want to take English to a higher level of understanding, there's Imperial English Scholar. All of these references are kind of pointing to Spy Family, which is my current obsession right now. If you guys haven't watched the anime, I suggest go watch it. But yeah, just these top tier members are able to have access to the group, and this is also where I will upload my practice book PDF files. Yeah. That being said, let's go ahead and jump to the end of today's stream. I am live every 8 o'clock p.m. It's PDT now, Pacific daily time. I can't even remember right now. It's daytime, daylight savings, right? I cannot read that. GIF, GIF. Oh, GIF. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm always live on every Tuesday at 8 p.m. PDT because we're in Pacific Daylight Savings right now. You can join my Discord. This is the link for it if you want to type it manually or just access it in the description box below. Come join our group, and I hope I get to see you guys next week for I'm like blanking out right now, the Homebody Cafe. So it looks like it's not just the students whose brains are melting at a certain point, it's also the teacher too. So yeah, I think 90 minutes is my cutoff time, and it's perfect because we're just a little over the 90 minutes. Well, we got 2 minutes left on the clock, technically, because I did start my stream a little bit late. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's session. I'm gonna go ahead and upload the stuff on Discord right now, and hope to see you guys again next week. Hopefully, I might have a different schedule. I will announce it if that ever happens. I'm not sure yet, considering that there are a lot of things changing in my other job too, so I'm not sure if I'm gonna be changing some of my, if I will be changing my meeting times or like when I'm gonna stream. So yeah, that's about it. Alright guys, I'm gonna go ahead and head off for tonight. I wish you all a good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Please eat something. Please drink some water, stay hydrated. I know it's getting a bit chilly in the States or in Europe, wherever you are. If you're in a tropical country, just stay somewhere that's cool. But yeah, most importantly, I wish you all good health. I'm currently trying to recover from whatever I caught from my dad. But yeah, I will see you guys next week. Fingers crossed I will be a little bit better by then. So yeah, see you guys until then. Bye!